A couple sentenced to hundreds of years in prisons for forcing adopted black kids to work as slaves. A 7-year-old boy found dead in his adopted parents' washing machine. Welcome to PG's Voice. Today we're talking about two topics. Again, if you're new here, my name is PG. Welcome to PG's Voice. On this page, I talk about every and anything that's bothering me and whatever I feel like talking about, mostly podcasting. So if you're following me on YouTube, hi, welcome to PG's Voice. If you're following me on Instagram and Facebook, hi, welcome to PG's Voice. Okay, so we're gonna hop in it and get it started, okay? So a couple sentenced to hundreds of years in prison for forcing black adopted children to work as slaves. Wow. Imagine. So, Jenny K. Whitefeather, who is 63, with her husband Donald Lenz, who is 64, adopted four, no, adopted five children in 2018. They lived in Minnesota, originally lived in Minnesota in 2018, and then they moved to West Virginia in 2023. Okay, so they moved to West Virginia. They bought a farm and they decided since we have these children who are black and their history is being slaves, let's um, slave them, right? So that's what they decided to do. So every day since they moved to West Virginia, the kids will be locked up in the shed where there's no water, there is no bathroom, there's no food, there's no bed. They will be locked in. They will wake up early in the morning and do chores. They this is hard. Talking about this is very hard because again, I feel I feel like it's close to home, right? And plus, who in their right mind would do such thing? Like a lot of kids have been unfortunate when they was young, so they end up in a foster care, right? So when the kids end up in foster care, they are put up for adoption and they will like do background check to see if a family is um, good enough to take the kids, right? So they did adopted these children. I don't know what was the reason, like how were they qualified? Like what was the qualification that um, made CPS give these children to them? Like what was it? I want to know like how easy is it? Is it that easy to adopt a child? Is it that easy? So these people, after enslaving the kids for so long, probably 6, 7 years, when they moved to West Virginia, they got caught. The neighbor called the police when they saw Donald like two children up in the shed and left. So when the deputy came in to do like a welfare check, he saw the kids in the shed, and that's when everything went down. Now during their trial, they they apologized to the children. They apologized to them. Like, I'm sorry that this happened, that we did this to you. But the judge was like, people might feel sorry for you, but we are not going to feel sorry for you in this courtroom. So they were sentenced. The wife, Jenny Kay, was sentenced to 215 years of prison, while the husband was sentenced to 100 years of prison. Now, I don't know. Like, I feel like there should be punishment for punishment. I feel like there should be an eye for an eye if stuff like this happen in, in the community. And instead of you just punishing these people to take them to jail, because in jail, in prison, they can eat, sleep, drink, live a free life, right? And if they pretend to be good, they will get put out sooner than they're supposed to be put out, right? So instead of doing that, they should have them do the same slavery work, right? They should have them every day, every day take them to that little girls, then the children's house, take them to the children's house, and then have them clean up without water, without food, without anything, right? I think that will be a fair share. And then they'll take them back to prison. Come back every 2 to 3 days, right? And have them do their cleaning, do their work, do everything they want them to do, and then take them back to where they belong. Because I feel like it's disgusting that people like this existed. Like, I'm thinking the kids felt relief because they didn't want it to be in in the in the house where people who are not adopted are. So they was happy that two nice old white couple will come and get them so they can have a home. That's all they really wish for, is to have a home. Now you took these kids from the people and took them to your house to be your slave. Wow. Wow. Things like this needs to stop. Like, we need to have a better system where stuff like this don't happen. And then because there are five of them, they have one boy who is their favorite kid, right? And then the other four, the other four would do all the chores in the house, wake up like 5 in the morning and go um fetch the egg from the chicken, feed the cows and the everything. And that's ridiculous that stuff like this happen. We really need to find a system, since the government is too busy trying to do other things. The system that we need is to protect the people that's American, right? This is America. The system was put, like, the adoption system was put out so people can be safe, right? When a child is being mistreated at home, they'll take the child from the mother, the parents, and take them to a group home for them to be there. I think it's disgusting that stuff like this happen, right? Even some people, like some mother will accident will happen, right? They'll leave their kids somewhere, not on purpose, but then the CPS will come and take the kids and give them to people who they claim they think will take care of them. And then stuff like this happens. 9 times out of 10, the parent who gave birth to the child loves the child more than anybody. Most of these adopted parents, they're only doing it for money. Cause I looked it up. I looked up the adoption thing. Like, when you adopt a kid, you get paid for that kid. So most of them, they only do that just to get money. And I think it's unfair that um kids, like, I feel like if a person is going to adopt a person, make sure they have a lot of money, like they're able to take care of themselves 10 times and also take care of the child. That's what I think. Not somebody who is struggling on welfare should adopt a person or adopt a child. And before you take a child from a home, make sure that person, that child, is being very much mistreated before you take the child from their home. Because again, you will take the child and give the child to somebody who you think is a better fit, and then they end up being a slave for for forever. And that is unfair to that child who thought that, oh my gosh, this person is here to save me, to take care of me, and then they end up going and being a slave for that person. What do you guys think? Anyway, I feel it's so disgusting. Anyways, if you're new here, my name is PG. Please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. On today's topic, we're gonna have two topics. Again, that was topic one. If you have anything to say in the comment section, you can say it with number and the topic. That was topic one. And now we're gonna move on to something similar to that, but worse. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next topic. So this topic is 7-year-old boy found on alive in his adopted parents' washing machine. Is always the adopted parents. Why? No offense to those who are adopting kids for the goods, right? Because they want to do something good. They want to take care of a person. They want to help a child, a situation, a person. That's why most people adopt um, kids and family, not for their own greedy needs, right? Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. I'm trying to. So, anyways, let's move on. Like I said, let's move on to the here we go. Here we go. Now I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna read it so we can understand. I have my my other phone. I wanted to go live on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube at the same time, but TikTok, I gotta fix some things. So I have my other phone. So I'm gonna read what happened with this 7-year-old boy. Okay. So a 7-year-old Texas boy found dead in his family's washing machine. He had been beaten and possibly drowned before being dumped in the appliance. Troy's adopted parent was furious their son when their son somebody wrote like they can't eat. when their son when they found out their son had eaten their food without their permission. Text message found by investigators on their cell phones. Here's the first message. The first message is like F dot. I'm not doing S for his birthday. The mother, the adopted mother, she allegedly wrote to the father on July 7, which was 3 weeks before Troy's death. I'm so sick of this boy. Like, I'm really tired of him and don't want him in this house no more. Okay. You're tired of him and don't want him in the house. Why couldn't you, why you did not take him to the CPS and say, hey, this boy is not, we're not fitting, each other. We don't fit. I don't like him, he don't like me. Take him and give him to somebody else, place him somewhere where he is able to get the care he needs and deserves. Right? Troy Une confessed he confessed to eating her oatmeal cream pies after she threatened to put him in the stove and turn it on. Another of Another one of the message said, "I'm going to end up unaliving him." The father texted the mother upon finding out the child had eaten his donut stick. You're going to you're going to come home and he's going to be hanged by the tree. Imagine talking about human being like this. Imagine talking about human being like this. Wow. And just 3 days before Troy's dead, their mother texted, "This boy got life and up, f up." Why I'm trying not to excuse how I'm reading. I'm trying not. I'm trying to filter my voice so my voice don't be muted, because if you say some things that you're not supposed to say on this internet, your voice will be muted. So yeah. So she was saying that this boy got me effed up. Why I come out the restroom and taking my shower and his funky ass in the living room watching TV. Wow. So he's not allowed to watch TV. A 7-year-old kid who you guys adopted is not allowed to eat snacks or watch TV. So the reason why these people on the live this 7-year-old boy is because he ate snacks and then he watched TV. Tell me your parents hate you without telling me your parents hate you. So I'm gonna go to the so they adopted him like 7 years ago. So he was like a kid, like a baby when they adopted him. Now, after adopting his 7-year old, you're getting tired of him. Why couldn't you just give him back to the people? Why is it so hard to like do the right thing? It doesn't matter how much you're making of these kids, of these people. Learn how to, once you're tired, people need to learn how to let things go once they're tired. This kid could have been alive right now if they haven't killed him or was not tired of him eating their snacks. That the money they pay, they, because of him, they have that money to be able to afford snacks. You hear me? So one morning, their mother called 911 to report Troy's had vanished. The police came in and searched the neighborhood van for more than an hour, including launching a drone. Others searched the room without any luck. Then the officer went and opened the the washing machine and saw the boy in the washing machine, lying dead, unalive, unresponsive, and everything. Bruises on his upper legs, arms, and were warm to touch, but his torso was cold and Troy had blood around his nose. See, this is him. This is the cute little boy that they have on alive. I'm sorry, but it's sick. I feel like CPS, they need to like investigate CPS, okay? And also CPS need to investigate people for a while, like a long time. Do background checks. Make sure they don't have any tickets. Make sure they don't do anything wrong before you give excuse me, before you give a child to somebody who did not birth them. Somebody who did not birth a child will not care for the child the way the person who has birthed a child have. Okay? Or if you are going to give a child to somebody, at least let that person be a mother or a father, like a natural mother and father, like somebody who has birthed before. It's sad. Now, this little boy is no longer here. The hope, all of the hope he had in life, gone. People who were supposed to protect him did not protect him, failed him. The government failed him. His parents failed him. His the CPS failed him. The system failed him. What if this was you? If this was your child, what would you have said? If anybody could adopt a child, at least let them be a perfect fit. Let them want the child. If you don't want the child, if you got the child and then you figure out it's hard to raise a child, it's okay to give the child back. It's okay to give the child back. The child had a bright future. Seems like a beautiful little kid. Now they have unalive him. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope you like it. You enjoy it. I hope you learned something. I hope I gave you one advice that you've learned on here. Please, if you learn anything, let me know in the comment section. If you have any topic you feel like I should put my voice on, send it to me on the DMs at PG's Voice, and I will be here. Until next time, next week, I will look completely different. I will see you guys in my next video. As I always says, remember you're not poor. You are just broke. Peace. Thank you so much. Bye.